Hello everybody, Hockey Guy here for OutstandingPoker.com, and back with a video here at $10 no limit. Investigating the whole value thing and trying to figure out where it's coming from, how to maximize, etc. And really just going to combine hand reading and basic strategies. Obviously the value comes mostly by betting and getting called by worse. Occasionally we can check the best hand and get somebody with a hand they can't call with to bet for us, which really starts becoming more common at $10, and as you move up through the levels, there's not too much of that at the $5 level that I saw in the limited time I've played there. Also looking for spots where we can bet and get better to fold. Again, a lot of station action at $10, so you got to kind of pick your spots there. Betting and getting opponents to fold their equity, or really giving them the option to fold their equity or call with worse. And of course that's super common by 3-betting ace-king pre-flop, and making small pairs surrender their equity. Also, if you have a big draw or something post-flop, you can apply a lot of pressure to medium pairs, second pairs, top pairs with weak kicker, and try to get them to surrender their equity there as well. And that's the thing, that you need to be aggressive to do that. Passive players don't win that portion of their opponent's equity, and consequently affects their win rate. That they just can't. You can't be a big winner if you're a passive player. It just can't happen. Implied odds, looking for the right spots versus the right opponents, right stack sizes, and trying to focus this video on adjusting to opponents to exploit their style. And kind of a big part of that is hand reading, because when I was first starting playing or trying to win or whatever, I always thought of hand reading as, does the guy have me beat? And that was my focus of hand reading, was does he have me beat? But if you really think about it, and I think this is a pretty important point, that the hand reading is really super critical when you're ahead, because you want to know what the opponent's range is that he can call a bet with you, from you. And since if you're an aggressive player, and hopefully you are following the OutstandingPoker.com model of being aggressive, you should be betting way more often than you're calling. And calling, basically, when you call, your question is, does the guy have me beat, or do I have odds to chase a draw? But most of the time it's going to be, when you're calling, does that guy have me beat? Which is pretty straightforward at $10, $25, whatever, because basically if most opponents bet, that means they've got something, so it's pretty easy for you to know where you're at. But when you're ahead, you really want to be thinking about, does this opponent call, and what do they call with? Because that's really where you're going to get most of your value, is from number one, betting and getting called by worse. So if you know your opponent will, limp and then call a raise with 7-5 suited, and then chase any piece of ridiculous draw that they might have that doesn't include a pair, you can keep betting ace high for another street of value, and if you don't improve, then you can shut it down, and you're a huge, if you go to the flop and you both miss and you bet and he chases with just a naked 7-5 or queen 8 or something silly, and nobody improves on the turn, you've gotten more value, and then you can just check down the river if you don't improve. But you've gotten more value, and you're a huge favorite with only one card to come. If he hasn't paired yet, you're a 7-1 favorite roughly. So you can get a lot of extra value by really thinking about the opponent's range and their style. Do they call with ridiculous hands, and get more value that way, especially at the $10, $25 limits. You'll just have players calling with anything ridiculous, and that's why you can get huge win rates down at these stakes. And then friendly reminder, tight aggressive poker position. All of these things are going to be easier in position. Punishing limpers, forcing them to surrender their value or call with their worse hand. Either way, basically you win. Stealing blinds, and we'll see that at the end with some quick look at some database information that I got curious about last night, and I think kind of points out the super importance of being aggressive.